introduction. Please be seated.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, participants, and ladies and gentlemen.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please speak.
Good morning, and we are delighted to welcome all the participants to the Faculty of Law, Universitas Brawijaya Malang, Indonesia, for the opening ceremony of the International Conference of Diversity and Disability Inclusion in.
Before we begin, we invite the dear participants to sit at the left side of this room.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Wikan, and I'm a person with visual impaired. I'm an Indonesian male with long black curly hair. Thank you. So, I'm on my final semester studying international relations at the Faculty of Social and Political Science, Universitas Brawijaya.
And my name is Aulia Nabila. I am an Indonesian female with short black hair, and I'm a lecturer in the Faculty of Law of Universitas Brawijaya. The Honorable Vice Rector of Planning and Cooperation, Professor Dr. Muhammad Hasbito Jati MS, the Dean of Faculty of Law Universitas Brawijaya, Dr. Muhammad Arisa Faat SPMH, Head of Center of Disability Studies and Services, Mrs. Jubaida Ningsih, PhD, President of EDREP, Mrs. Dina Afiati, representative from the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of the Australian Embassy, Mr. Adam White, representative from Knowledge Sector Initiative, Ms. Yana Hertz, and the head of Bapeda Kota Batu, Mr. Muhammad Fori, and also presenters and participants of ICDDA 2019.
Welcome to the second International Conference of Diversity and Disability Inclusion in Asia.
Entitled Theorizing Advocacy and Research for Disability Policy and Social Inclusion, Experience from Asia.
This conference is a collaborative act between either the Faculty of Law Universitas Brawijaya and the Center for Disability Studies and Services, PSLD. Before we proceed to the next activity, let's first sing the national anthem of Indonesia. For all the participants, please may kindly stand up.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to listen to the report from our conveners, Mrs. Dina Aprianti from Lathrop University and Mr. Slamet Tohari from the Center for Disability Studies and Services of Universitas Brawijaya. Please welcome Mrs. Dina Aprianti and Mr. Slamet Tohari. Please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable, our rector is Vice Rector Universitas Brawijaya, and Honorable Pak Dekan Faculty of Law Universitas Brawijaya, Honorable Aidan White from Australian Embassy, and Bujana from TSI, all speakers, and also Prof. Oki from Kementerian Activity, Director of Research from Kementerian Activity to Minister of Education and Higher Education Affairs in Indonesia, and all participants, all presenters, all committee, all volunteers, and everybody. I'm very delighted here to give speech and report on what we are doing and what we did on this conference. So, welcome to our conference, and I do believe that your coming here is strongly telling your commitment to social inclusion for people with disabilities in Indonesia and also over the world. So we are talking on disability here is actually not talking about me, not talking about others disabled, but we are talking about us, because everybody is getting older, and if you are getting older, then you are become disabled. And talking about disability is talking about us. So everybody is now coming to talk about us and commitment to our future, and not only for disabled future. So that's based on that issue, we decided that this conference should be held on campus. We would like to enhance and also develop the disability studies, especially in Indonesia and especially in Asia, that we have unique and also different. We have a culture that's so strongly, I do believe, support for our equal right for people with disabilities, our goal for making equal right for people with disabilities. So, actually we have submitted paper more than 100, like 120. So, and then we have, selected paper only 6. And also we invited speakers, probably 12, and then we have about 80 speakers right now. So it's a very huge conference in Asia. This is the second conference. The first one is we held it in Jakarta 2 years ago. So next speaking will be presented by Dina Aprianti, my friend.
Thank you, Mas Alex. Good morning, everyone. Can I start with a personal story? To be very honest, I've been very nervous this morning, so I have prepared my speech. So I hope you don't mind if I'm going to read it. So recently I woke up from a nightmare, and the dream involved me sleeping in and missing this opening session. Even worse, Mas Amex or Slamet was clearly upset at my rudeness and refused to speak to me. It turns out our conference organizer, Mahari, also confessed to me about having difficulty sleeping in the lead up to today. So can I say a big thank you to the IDRAN Indonesian lead partners for their hard work, care, and attention. To the Law Faculty of Brawijaya University, Pak Ali Sapaan, thank you so much for your collaboration. Without your enthusiasm and commitment, this event would not be taking place. This is the first International Disability Conference that is organized by IDRAN since we launched IDRAN last year in 2018 at La Trobe University in Melbourne. And this is the first International Disability Conference to ever be conducted at an Indonesian university. So congratulations to Faculty of Law, Brawijaya University. And hopefully this won't be the last one. And of course to all of our participants, we are so lucky to have you all here. Every one of us brings with us stories to share with the sole objective of achieving broader social inclusion, as what Mas Amex mentioned, not only in Indonesia but also across the world. I believe we are here because all of us from Indonesia, Iraq, India, Bangladesh, America, and Australia are all part of a global movement. While our particular experiences are shaped by our different landscapes, different history and politics and lawmaking, but I believe we all agree that the work for collective social justice are as enshrined in CRPD. It is our hope that your voices will help to build a richer and more complete picture of the life experience of people with disabilities. We want to know about your experiences, success, concerns, and ideas. This is because that is what social transformation is about, and also because of the significant gaps in the knowledge of community leaders and policymakers. We all know the significant lack of empirical evidence to build the policies and programs to address the priorities of people with disabilities. We also understand the need to have more qualitative research on the life experiences of people with disabilities. At IDRAN, we believe research is essential for increasing public understanding about disabilities. There is an acute need for research that captures the voices of people with disabilities, reflecting their own priorities, experiences, and viewpoints. It is because of this reason we are so happy to have a lot of colleagues who have life experiences who will share their stories with us today and tomorrow. Together we can work to bridge this gap and develop better informed public policy. IDRAN is still a very young organization, and since we launched last year, our focus has been to establish ourselves. We are grateful to the support of La Trobe Law School and Brawijaya University, and mainly to the knowledge sector initiative. Without their belief in the broader mission that motivates us, we would not be able to deliver such an exciting agenda. So at IDRAN, we believe that good policy practice also requires better social attitudes. Therefore, apart from conducting research, our aim is to communicate the available information and evidence in this sector, so that the general public will get insight which will help transform societal perceptions. While we believe the principles of UNCRPD should be the main platform in both changing social attitudes and policies, we also aim to find and develop local values and new traditions that can be used to remove social barriers. We have deliberately chosen to focus on access to tertiary education for people with disabilities. This responds to the strong interest that is evident in the Indonesian tertiary education sector and allows us to engage directly with government. This responsiveness is in turn an indication that this sector is taking its legal obligation to accommodate the rights of people with disability to access higher education seriously. Better education means better employment options and will also lead to greater visibility across society for people with disabilities. Besides working on access and inclusion policies within the education sector, we hope to leverage our engagement with the academic environment, using its strengths in research and inquiry to influence governments at all levels in all areas of policies. This conference is therefore a step forward to make policy into action. I want to make a special mention to the great examples we see here taking positive action. This can be seen in the efforts made by the Brawijaya University to build build new infrastructure around campus. One of the particular examples I would like to mention here is how the faculty built a new toilet, which was only made about 2 months ago. So thank you, Pak. It is often said across Indonesian campuses that since no people needing wheelchair accessible facilities are enrolled, it is not necessary to provide these facilities. Of course, we can extend this analogy to all areas of disabilities. I accept that there is a significant cost to providing full physical access. However, we hope in the future we will see even more positive examples like the ones we see here. Policy and action extends beyond just physical access. The faculty and the Center for Disability Services at Brawijaya University also organizes a series of events before today, providing training to volunteers, staff, and other committee members in order to develop their skills in assisting participants around the conference. If we have to measure the impact, that is something that is unmeasurable. The experience, the exposure, the engagement that we all have over the next 2 days will stay with us. We hope that at the completion of this conference, we return to our home not only with new knowledge, but that we hear from all the speakers, but most importantly, the time we spend interacting, changing stories, sharing research plans, which will give us new perspective that will shape our research and our way to be part of advocating social changes. Finally, I apologize for any mistakes and inconveniences, and I hope everyone enjoyed the conference. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's the last speech from us. For Indonesian way, we usually say that wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Dekat-dekat Pak Taufik banyak hadiah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Slamet Tohari and Mrs. Dina Afrin for the presentation. And now we are going to listen to the opening speech delivered by Dr. Muhammad Ali Safaat, SHMH, as the Dean Faculty of Law, Universitas Brawijaya. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Muhammad Ali Safaat.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Professor Sasmito Jati, Vice Rector for Planning and Cooperation, Honorable Zana Haj from Lulit Sector East Team Leader, Professor Patrick Esa from Latrobe Law School, Latrobe University, Dr. Vivi Lasmi from Ministry of National Development and Planning, Professor Oki from Ministry of Education, Technology and Higher Education, and all distinguished speakers and participants of this conference. It is an honor for us, the Law Faculty of Universitas Brawijaya, to be part of this very important international conference. Moreover, this activity is also in commemoration of the 57th anniversary of Universitas Brawijaya. The anniversary activities actually have been held starting this September until the main event on January 5th next year. And various international activity has been and will be carried out as part of internationalization effort of Universitas Brawijaya. And Universitas Brawijaya has committed to realize an inclusive campus that is friendly to persons with disabilities. We have a special selection for new students with disabilities, always improve infrastructure and facilities that are friendly to persons with disabilities, and establish a disability service center chaired by AMEC, that provide assistance to students with disabilities. We would like to express our gratitude to Rector Universitas Brawijaya, the Center for Disability Studies Study and Services of Universitas Brawijaya, Australia Indonesia Disability Advocacy Network (AIDRAN), Ibu Dina, Latrobe University, and Ministry of National Development and Planning. Thank you. Bila Taufik wal Hidayah, tanpa Pak Taufik dapat hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Faat, for the speech. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to listen to the presentation by PSLD and Universitas Brawijaya entitled Best Practices in Building Inclusive Higher Education. To the PSLD Universitas Brawijaya, time is yours.
I welcome all of the attendees for this conference. And our honorable guests, please welcome in Malang in Brawijaya University. So our presentation will be about the services provided by Brawijaya, the best practices in Brawijaya, who's committed to be an inclusive university. And this is actually the initiative of the inclusive university in Indonesia actually. So Brawijaya is like the role model of a lot of universities around Indonesia. So my presentation will be over there. Okay. So we actually established the unit, the center, the research center, and the service. I cannot see my own presentation. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, it's okay. I'll try. Okay, Center for Disability Studies and Services, or PSLD, Pusat Studi dan Layanan Disabilitas, Brawijaya University. It was established in 2012 by our star here, Bapak Selamat Tohari and Bapak Fadilah Putra. So that's the two founding fathers of the PSLD, who has a motivation to have a just education for all. And that's our rector at that time, Bapak Yogi, who is actually the rector where the PSLD is established. Okay, next. So this is the intake of our students in Brawijaya. Up to 2019, we have 144 students. And then, oh, why it's come up like that? It's okay. It's a bit animation. Okay, next slide. And then we, from 2012 up to 2019, we already graduated about 41 students. And some of them already become government employee, so they can actually work, yes? Can see here the real model of how we develop people with disabilities, and they can actually have impact or have role in this life. And then they also become an activist, and then activist in some organization, and then some state-owned company employee. So yes, our graduate actually already have some works there. Next. And in 2019, from 15 faculty, actually 12 of the faculties already accept students with disabilities. So the 12 faculty already inclusive here in Brawijaya. We're still trying to make the other 3 faculties become more accessible on the way. Yes. And then next. Here, the type of the disability of the students in Brawijaya, most of them are deaf. But then we also have blind or visually impaired 15 students, physical disability 23, intellectual disability 19, and speaking disability 2 students. Next. And we have 73% male and 27% female. Okay, we need more female to be in this university. There's still a lot of men over there. It's not really equal. Yeah. Next. And we have about for bachelor degree, 72%, for diploma, 25%, and also diploma here, 2%. So most of them are in bachelor degree. Next. And our students come across Indonesia. However, we see lack students from East Indonesia. So we still need some work to do, how to build more awareness, disability awareness from East Indonesia. well, not only that, all of the, how do you say, development in Indonesia, East Indonesia is very low compared to the West Indonesia. My father came from East Indonesia, so please, the public policy maker, please, East Indonesia, make it an agenda. Yeah. Please develop them more. And for research, we have three main topics. First is our research mainly in education, and then about social humanities, and then assistive technology. That's what the three main topics in our research center. And we have a disability. So like we have fortnightly meeting or discussion about disability issues in PSLD. And also we have Indonesian Journal of Disability Studies, which is published twice a year and accredited nationally at SINTA 3. So we invite all of the writers, researchers, please join our journal. You can publish your paper in our journal. Next, collaboration we have with British Council about art disability mapping. With Kemendes, we make a guidance about inclusive village. Kemudian with UZ, we have IO Inclusive. Asia Foundation, we have Fikih of Disability. Like we want to make masjid or mosque is more accessible for people with disability. And then with Dikti, we have grant in teaching innovation. With IDRAN, we have conference and more discussion about disability topic. With LATROP, we have youth training in inclusive public policy making. This is next year, inshallah. And then with NRL Foundation about Down syndrome assessment. And with United Nations, we have Zero project proposed. We haven't accepted yet, but we are on the way, in our way, to try to get the project. Next. And this is the services, like mentioned by our faculty, dean of the law faculty. Like we have special admission process for the student with the disability. So we arrange tests which is accessible to them. Whether they have like visually impaired, so we make a test which is accessible for them, not like general students. Like, so we modify the test. And then after that, we also have peer support and tutorial. So every student with disability will have one sophomore student to accompany him or her until they become independent. So whether they need sign language interpreter in the class, or whether they need like assistive technology for the blind students to see or to hear, to understand better about the lecturer. So we have peer support and tutorial, and they are trained, they are selected, they are paid by our university. And then we have car for disabled students, and this is the results of our research, because this is fabricated by our member in civil engineering. So they built a special car for disabled students which is operated around the uni. And then we also have disability awareness, like sign language training, and then also how to accompany people that is visually impaired, and then how to operate wheelchair. So the students or the peer supporter, they will be trained in this area, so they will accompany better for the students with a disability. Next. We also have scholarship information, so our government actually offers special scholarship, special for students with disabilities, from the first time they get into the uni until they finish. So they cover, full cover scholarship. And then we also have soft skill improvement training, like work ethics and also writing skills. And we also have teaching innovation training for the lecturers. So we want our lecturers to be able to teach in a modified way maybe, or different or alternatives way to teach students with disabilities. And then we also have disability awareness for the staff. So not only for the lecturers, we also train the staff to help students with disabilities. And then we also have sports and activities for students, like hobbies. So we actually have a special room for students to get together, maybe to play some musical instruments, or to do some play, reading some poems. So we have a special place for that. And also we use softwares and applications to help in the class. So we have enabling application. So this is the application that connects the students with disabilities with the peer supporters. So like if I want someone to accompany me in this class, who is available to accompany me? Because it is hard to connect the schedules of many students. So we have special application launched last month, I think, to help them to connect through the application. Okay, and then next. So yeah, so that's the services provided by Brawijaya. And this conference actually a way for us to learn more about the policy making, about the law, about the technology, maybe. Yeah, because I'm from chemistry background. So yeah, we don't want to be left behind. We want to get involved, not only from the social science, we want to get involved. So I'm from science myself. So we want to know and we care about people with disabilities. So we hope that we can get together and then brainstorming of how to help people with disabilities. So I would like to thank for all the parties that already contributed for this conference. For Law Faculty at Brawijaya University, Bapak Muhammad Ali Safaat, and then Australian government through DFAC here, Bapak Aidan Baik, and then from KSI Knowledge Sector Initiative, Ibu Yana Hertz, and then from IDRAN, Australian Indonesian Disability Research and Advocacy Network, Mbak Dina Priyanti, La Trobe University, and then speakers and all attendants, and then also volunteers and committee, conference committee members. Thank you very much for all your participation here today. And last year, I would like all of us seeding inclusion for just future. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ibu Subaidaningsih, for the wonderful presentation.
And now we are going to listen to the opening remark delivered by Ms. Jana Hertz as the team leader of Knowledge Sector Initiative. So please welcome Ms. Jana Hertz to the stage.
Yang terhormat, Bapak M. Khori, Kepala Bapeda Kota Baru, yang terhormat Profesor Sesmito Diati, Wakil Rektor, yang terhormat Bapak Muhammad Ali Safaat, Dekan Fakultas Hukum Universitas Brawijaya, yang terhormat Ibu Vivi Yuliaswati dari Bappenas yang sedang on the way, yang terhormat Bapak Oki karena ada jasa, Mitra KSI dari MNSTT, Bapak Aiden Bayat dari DFAT, Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Australia, Professor Patrick Hess from Central Law School, Ibu Dina and Pak Amex, and our colleagues from Pusat Studi Layanan Disabilitas, dan seluruh pembicara dan peserta baik dari pemerintah, Disabled Persons Organization, akademisi, serta rekan-rekan media. Bu Dina minta saya menyampaikan sambutan saya dalam bahasa Indonesia, tapi karena semua pembicara sebelumnya dalam bahasa Inggris, saya nanti bahasa Indonesia sekarang. Good morning and welcome to the conference on disability and diversity in Asia in beautiful Malang. I'm thrilled to be here. The Knowledge Sector Initiative would like to congratulate Brawijaya University and IDRAN for holding this first international conference on disability and diversity and disability inclusion in Asia, theorizing advocacy and research for disability policy and social inclusion. The Knowledge Sector Initiative is a partnership between the governments of Indonesia and Australia, implemented in cooperation with the Ministry of Development Planning, Bappenas. We appreciate the Australian government's commitment to disability issues, as well as the troop support for IDRAN, partnership with Brawijaya University, and support for Bappenas for disability inclusion. The program's goal, KSI's goal, is to support Indonesian institutions to use quality of evidence in development policymaking. establish and facilitate disability network to promote evidence-based policy making that incorporates the needs of people with disabilities. KSI as an overall program supports evidence-based policy making, and we feel very strongly that as part of policy making, issues related to disabilities should be incorporated. So we're very pleased that this conference is bringing together so many people to discuss these important issues. Today we will hear speakers and participants and people with disabilities on their research, advocacy, and lived experience. Budina and Pa shared with me that there are countries represented from 9 different countries: Indonesia, Australia, India, China, Iraq, Bangladesh, Nepal, Japan, and the United States. That's very impressive. As well as from all over Indonesia, they've turned away participants because there was so much demand for this important issue. So we're really thrilled that disability inclusion is the most important topic for today, and we're so pleased so many people will come. We hope this conference will showcase knowledge produced by engaging people with disabilities based on their lived experience. It's also an opportunity to strengthen the body of evidence and bring together committed researchers for advocacy. We hope this shared knowledge will increase our commitment to ensure these lived experiences are at the center of policy making, and it translates into more disability-inclusive policies. KSI also hopes this conference will encourage more interest in research collaboration with persons with disabilities. May this conference support the development of more effective strategies for disability advocacy in Indonesia, as well as contributing to the application of disability studies for policy making in Asia. Thank you for your contribution to this effort, and enjoy the conference.
Next, we're going to listen by Counselor of Property and Social Development, Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of the Australian Embassy, Mr. Aidan White. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Aidan White.
Yang saya hormati Bapak Muhammad Huri, Bapak Muhammad Ali Saf Ahmad, Bapak Muhammad Susmito Jati, Ibu Dina Afrianti, dan Bapak Selamat Tohari, Ibu Vivi Yuleswati, dan Bapak Oki Kana Rajasa, Ibu Jana Hertz, Bapak Patrick Kaiser, and distinguished guests from government officials, disabled persons organisations, university students, academics, policymakers, and media. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Firstly, thank you very much to Brawijaya University for hosting this event. I'm honoured to be representing the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade at the first Adrian Bayham conference on the theme Theorising Advocacy and Research for Disability, Policy and Social Inclusion. The network provides an excellent opportunity to bring together Australian and Indonesian researchers, disability advocates and government and civil society actors to support evidence-based, disability-inclusive policy in Indonesia. It promotes a central role for people with disability in conducting research on issues that affect their lives and engaging in policy debates on these issues. Disability inclusion is a priority for Australia's international engagement. Australia's foreign policy white paper affirms that disability, like gender equality, is a cross-cutting priority for Australia's international engagement on human rights, development assistance and humanitarian action. Through our development program, we're implementing the Development for All. It's a strategy for strengthening disability-inclusive development in Australia's aid program. We do this, first and foremost, by including people with disability as participants in and beneficiaries of our development efforts on an equal basis with all others. Central to Australia's approach to disability inclusion is supporting disabled people's organisations, or DPOs, in developing countries to build their capacity and advocacy. A number of Australian government programs in Indonesia support disability inclusion, including in the areas of justice, inclusive education, improving services in line with the disability law, and in infrastructure and employment opportunities. For example, Through the Australia-Indonesia Partnership for Justice, Australia works in collaboration with legal institutions in Indonesia to improve access for persons with disabilities to the legal system. This includes partnering with DPOs to advocate and provide analysis in supporting the drafting of new regulations on reasonable accommodations for people with disability in access to justice and social welfare for implementing the 2016 disability law. Through our education partnership, Innovasi, we have implemented a pilot that aims to overcome barriers, including teacher knowledge and attitudes in the classroom that prevent children with learning disabilities from fulfilling learning potential, known as Setara. Through our program Peduli, partners have employed a number of strategies, including working with the government to improve services and reduce stigma on disability. A DPO, Sahati, in Sakano district, developed an inclusion club that brings together village officials, health and education professionals, children with disabilities and their families to build local capacity and exchange skills. Through our infrastructure partnership, known as KIA, people with disabilities have been employed in key infrastructure activities. KIA's role is to support the implementation of Government Indonesia laws, policies and regulation on disability inclusion across all infrastructure subsectors. And finally, through Australia's Knowledge Sector Initiative, we support Indonesian think tanks in conducting research on disability issues. For example, SMERI's research on challenges in creating inclusive development for people with disabilities aims to provide empirical evidence about the conditions for people with disabilities 3 years after the enactment of the disability law, and identify obstacles in the government's efforts to design and implement development that is more inclusive. I'm pleased to see that many of our teams from each of these programs are here with us today. I know that some of you also attended this year's Indonesian Development Forum in July, an international conference hosted by Bappenas, with support from the Australian Government through the Knowledge Sector Initiative. I was really pleased to see such a strong focus on disability inclusion throughout the conference and the Road to IDF lead-up events. Promoting and ensuring inclusive employment is a critical part of Indonesia's inclusive economic growth agenda and the future of work. It is through this lens that we are really pleased to support AJRAN, to strengthen the links and intercultural dialogue between researchers, advocates and policymakers from both countries, and address key development challenges through more effective public policies which make better use of research data and analysis. We believe that AJRAN is well placed to contribute to broader disability inclusion reform efforts in Indonesia by establishing a strong alliance among Indonesian think tanks and research organisations involved in tackling Indonesia's increasingly complex development challenges. The biennial conference today will hopefully generate interest in the network among Australian and Indonesian researchers in Australia, disabled organisations, disabled people organisations, government agencies and other stakeholders. It's very impressive to see so many participants from both countries and almost 80 papers being presented across the next 2 days. Finally, yet importantly, we encourage AJRAN's continued and close collaboration with people with disabilities, upholding the fundamental principle of the disability rights movement. Nothing about us without us. Terima kasih dan selamat berdiskusi.
To the opening speech delivered by Professor Muhammad Sasmito Jati as the Vice Rector of Planning and Cooperation of Universitas Brawijaya.
And afterwards, we would like to request Professor Muhammad Sasmito Jati officially open the ICDDA 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Muhammad Sasmito Jati to the stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Firstly, I just want to say welcome to all of you, the participants from Latrobe University, from Kemenristek Professor Oki Karna Rajasa, Ibu again, We already met many times. If we meet him, I always, yang orang ngapa orang penak. Because I know he's from Purwokerto. Also, team leader, Mrs. Jana Hertz. Also Budina Afrianti and Bapak Selamat Tohari. Also Bapak Dr. Muhammad Ali Syafaat, the Dean of Law Faculty in Brawijaya University, and others, my honorable friends. I always say honorables because in Indonesia we have system. Every lecture receive particular salary, what we call honor. In every activity in Indonesia, we always receive this kind of particular salary. It's nice. Okay, Brawijaya, as all of you knows, maybe some of you do not know yet about the Brawijaya. Brawijaya is the name of king. When Majapahit Empire is very famous in our history because Majapahit Empire is occupied almost all part of Southeast Asia and Northern Australia. Sorry that not when we try to occupy Australia. We just think about, you can imagine that we live in more than 700 languages. Even we know can discuss in Bahasa, but originally we live in more than 700 languages. That we always in our culture living in diversity is something important for us. And now Brawijaya University, as Professor Oki asked to us, Brawijaya become next step of university, what we call it PTN-PH in Bahasa. PH is something very interesting for women. Because in the last name of our name, we call it Umbra. Umbra sounds similar like Nubra. That's why we believe our university is sexy university. In this case, now today we try to be globalized university. Professor Oki asked to us then become a world-class university. If we think about world-class university, we always think about competition. If we think about competition, sometimes in any particular, we forget it, that human in education should be humanized. It's very important for us. If we think about humanized, if we just think about the competition, we will try to attract the excellent student to come our university. But we do not think like that only. Because we believe we live in plural society. Some of our societies different condition. So we try to educate our society with what we call it humanizing of education. Now become very popular what we call it the inclusive education system. But unfortunately, as Ibu Subaida Ningsih gives speech, nice speech, now still imbalance condition because still so many male, it's not comparable, male and female. Actually, when there is fairness competition in Brawijaya case, female is many. Some of our faculty history, like Faculty of Engineering, Long time ago, we call it male faculty. But now changed. Not so many female come to our university. But in terms of development, still imbalance. There's something wrong in our society. Yeah. And I know Ibu Subairani is from eastern part of Indonesia, and I mean eastern part of our house, because he is my neighbor and I know his father so much. Yeah, you know the style of eastern people, very big and with what to say, bears. Yeah, I hope in this occasion, even we still say about theory sign. This is something still in ideal condition, I think. We do not think about ideal condition, but should be trying to implement it now. It's very important. But for discussion, no matter we just still about discuss about theory, but we know we need today to implementing our idea for self and facilities our student in near future. So it is our happiness to open this meeting, because I hope Brawijaya will be inclusive education will be in near future implemented, and of course it is not ideal condition in terms of our education. Some of our facilities not good yet. Some of facility, some of our building is not accessible for some students who have certain disability. So I hope Pak Slamet, you will accompany me to make a planning for our future, at least for next year's future, because today we try to plan our budget for next year. So please come to my room. Ideal accommodation or something like that, because Difabel is not so popular yet, of course, for us. And last, unfortunately, I have not seen Taufik and Hidayat yet. But my last bit, just want to official open what we call it. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, we officially open.
Thank you, Professor Muhammad Sasmito Djadi, for the speech and for opening the ICDDA 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next session, you are welcome to enjoy the coffee break. Refreshment will be served outside this hall and on the 6th floor. And please note that after the coffee break, which is 30 minutes from now, we will begin the keynote session here in this hall. And we also invite Mr. Selamat Lohari, Ibu Dina Apriati, the representative from the Australian Embassy and the KSI, and Bapak Dr. Muhammad Anissa Faat from the Faculty of Law, to the press conference here in this hall, which starts now. And also to all of the journalists, teman-teman dari media, dipersilakan untuk masuk ke ruangan untuk press conference. Terima kasih. Thank you.